Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio Traffic Update.
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth, it's this idea of like hard work that gets carried on that had been executed from ancestors, and so the generations down the line are a bit more set up already, like in a very favorable position financially to succeed. And it kind of makes me think of like privilege a lot, because when I think about stuff like gentrification or people with privilege or in a more privileged position in like the current society as it is right now, I think of this idea that they probably had this generational wealth.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Greetings. This is your host, DJ Neftali, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, the best DJ in the Seattle area. You can catch me every Monday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Like I said, this is DJ Neftali, the best reggae in Seattle, Washington, the best radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Come on. Right?
If you or a family member are 55 or over and need nursing home level care, but want to keep living where you are, check out Providence Elder Place PACE. This program offers healthcare, housing, transportation, and recreational activities. There are no copays or deductibles, and it's covered through Medicare and Medicaid. Providence Elder Place PACE works to keep you healthy and in your home. Call 206-320-5325 or visit providence.org Elder Place. Providence.org Elder Place.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not meeting Mrs. Jones in that cafe for a chat and nothing else, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Hello. Welcome to Clean Greens Living, broadcasted live here on Rainier Avenue Radio. I am your host, Queen Bri. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, March 7th. In case you guys didn't know the dates, I have to repeat that to myself daily. It is Tuesday, March 7th, 12:30 p.m. Seattle has some beautiful weather. Thank you, God, for listening to my prayers. I mean, yes, I need that rain for the farm, but you know, a little sunshine ain't gonna hurt, okay? I want to open up with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are on traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Coast Salish past and present. We honor with gratitude itself and the land and the Duwamish, Suquamish, Nisquamish, Snoqualmie, and Muckleshoot tribes. We also acknowledge what has happened on this land to impact the lives of the Black community in Seattle due to redlining, the systemic and oppressive mechanisms of anti-Black racism enacted by white leaders, politicians, business people, and others who have robbed Black families of the opportunity to build and pass down generational wealth. If this is your story and you have lived in Seattle area in the Central District and you would like to share, please contact the Black Dollar Days Task Force, King County Reparations Project at www.blackdollardays.taskforce.org. All right, guys, a few farm updates. CSA is open, so if you're looking to be a CSA with us, please follow, find us at www.cleangreensfarmmarket.com and sign up to be a CSA. Buy a CSA, feed a family. Buy a CSA, feed a family. That means when you buy a CSA from us, you are helping support our mission in feeding families who cannot afford fresh organic produce. This is low income families, BIPOC families, families who just cannot afford to feed their families fresh organic vegetables. You are helping to complete that mission. Our youth farm has openings. So if you are looking to have your youth have something to do this summer, we meet once a week on a Saturday and we learn everything about farming and growing produce and feeding our families healthy food. And also, not the least, but we are always looking for volunteers to come and work with us on our farm in our youth program. Speaking of, oh my God, I'm so excited. Our urban farm, we are going to have a grand little opening on Earth Day. So mark your calendars, April 22nd. The time will be we're still discussing the time, but mark your calendars. April 22nd, we will be opening up our urban farm in Seattle, and we are looking for people who want to come and plant and just welcome us in the space and bless the space with us. I'm super excited about this. We have a lot of things coming with that. We are even getting ready to start looking into how to keep bees. So there will be bees on this area too as well. So this is super exciting news. Remember, April 22nd is Earth Day. That means we are making plans and showing out and showing people how we can come together and take care of our earth. One of those ways is coming to Clean Greens and helping us plant in our urban garden. We plant fresh, organic because we want to make sure that we are taking care of the earth and not depleting the earth. So please come with us April 22nd. Um, so now we move on to our guest. I'm so excited today to have Malik Banks from TG Dub. Malik is a community activist who believes all youth deserves a fair chance at life. He's the co-founder, executive director of nonprofit called TG Dub, which is geared around recruiting, marketing, youth, and outreach. They bring youth to places that lack ability to reach the youth. Um, Welcome on, Malik.
I appreciate it. You can hear
Hey,
me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Before we get started, I just wanted to read this quote Deontay said about you. He wanted to send some love while you're on the show today. He said Malik is a young community leader to watch, upfront and
Mhm.
transparent. Instead of asking for a seat at the table, he and his members of G Dub are building their own. So everybody look out for Malik and TG
Mhm.
Dub.
That part. I appreciate Deontay for sure. That's my brother.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little exhausted. Just some overtime. I got off work. I worked from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And
Oof.
then I got back as soon as I got back home because I work in Bellevue and I live in Tacoma. I immediately went to Oakland High School to do some mentorship, and then we're here.
Wow, nice. Okay, you need to get some rest after you get off this show.
For
Um,
sure.
can you tell us about Dub? Sorry, I'm sounding. I was trying to sound so
You're
cool when
good.
I said this. TG Dub.
Yeah.
Please tell us about TG Dub and what it is that you all are doing.
Okay, TG Dub is also known as Team Get With It. And what we do, like you said in the bio, is we bring young people to facilities, events, venues, outings, and stuff of that nature in the community that lack the ability to be able to reach the young people. So we're basically like the bridge when it comes to young people and adults being able to mend a therapeutic relationship that's beneficial to the community because a lot of the adults have like a sweet slash sour, like salt vinegar type of relationship or standpoint on the youth because there's a lot of young people that have lost the morals of saying yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, sagging their pants around people's grandparents, stuff of that nature. So what we do is we do the inner work with the young people. We bring them aboard and we teach them how to express themselves and how to cope with everyday life struggles and stress and anxiety and mental health issues and things of that nature.
Nice. That is needed. I love how it's bridging the gap. And one of the things that I really loved is that Deontay said, you guys didn't ask for a seat at the table. You built your own. What was that like? And what made you guys decide to build your own table?
Well, it was a lot of ageism. And for the people that don't know what ageism is, it's basically when you're counted out because you're not of age. Like you're not an adult or you're not 21 years old or you're not looked at as an adult because you're still a young person. And like a lot of people nowadays, because I like to think of it as a young person's world. You feel me? Because there's a lot of artists and a lot of influencers that are young and they're getting put on with these tools and figuring it out for themselves, which is like corrupting the world because it's like when you give a young person too much at one time before they're mature enough to know how to deal with it or without sharpening their tools on how to go about this or that, whatever you may have placed in front of that young person, it kind of tarnishes them at a young age because you see a lot of young people, they have so much responsibility and so much weight on their shoulders that their parents can't even fathom. Like being a public figure at a young age, I was 16 years old when people started looking up to me, asking me for autographs, middle schoolers asking me for autographs and things of that nature. And I was so stressed out. I started doing certain stuff like smoking weed, going to the studio, getting into fights, arguing with my mom. And it was nobody's fault at all. It was just I wasn't properly prepared with the tools to be able to fathom that until I came across a mentor who just decided to step in my life because he seen so much potential in me. So when he decided to step in my life and he seen the things that I was already doing, like having my own movements, basically running the high school that I was at because the principals would check in with me when kids were fighting and stuff of that nature because they knew that a lot of people looked up to me in a negative way and a positive way, you know. And when he came into my life and he mentored me, he basically told me like instead of you just doing this off the cuff, let's properly prepare you with the tools so you could demand your price. You could put your own price and your own value on what you do and who you are, you know. And his name is Threat Brown, and he runs a nonprofit called Young Businessmen of Washington, where they educate young people on how to properly prepare to be a businessman or being independent. Like they help you with your LLC, they help you with your one-page business plan and things of that nature.
Nice. Look, I'm gonna need that contact after this. What was his name again?
Threat Brown.
Nice. I love that. I love that that's out there for the kids. Not a lot of people know that these opportunities are out there for the kids. How do people find out about this information? Like for TG Dub and for the other organization you mentioned.
Well, it starts with putting the young people that do the work in the positions to be able to speak for themselves. Like we don't need nobody to co-sign for us. We just need the adults that are in those positions to hand down the torch to the young people, like handing over the baton in a relay race. Like if you know you aged out and there's no such thing as old, but like you're not young enough physically to be able to go play recess or go play basketball and dodgeball with the students, then go find a young person and split your salary or pay them as you will, but don't undermine them, don't undercut them because that young person can help you in a lot of ways. And I feel like once adults take a standpoint of let me step out the comfort zone of doing things the norm old school way, like young people should not be able to tell an adult what to do, but you should be able to give an adult some insight and really be heard. Instead of the adult being like, well, I'm grown and you're not, you're a kid. So why am I listening to you? Like, that's not right.
I love that you mentioned like it's not that we're saying that people are older, but there is a time where we have to pass the torch.
Mm-hmm.
I see that a lot going on in the community. I see that a lot going on in our church where I'm considered like they still consider me young folks. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm 40 now. Like, I'm not as young. We need to start, first of all, the torch wasn't really passed down to me. I had to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the same as you create these spaces for myself and then start making, going to the table. But it's important as we get older. And if anyone's listening, no one is saying that no, you're too old, but you have to, how are we going to learn? How is each generation going to learn if our elders aren't willing to teach us? A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
do hold on to those titles and hold on to those positions, and then it's like when you're gone, who's going to carry the torch.
Exactly.
So what are ways that examples that you can give people to be able to pass down that torch?
Well, it starts from you going outside. Like, for instance, me and my business partners, shout out to the whole team, because there's six of us that's like the face of TG Dub, and we're all ages 18 to 25 because we're just young. We know what we want. We know what the community should look like how it was growing up and what worked and what didn't work. But it starts from you going outside and reaching any person you could see, whether you're young or old. Like, for instance, we was driving one day and I was going to pick up my fiance, and uh I seen that there was a whole bunch of kids that had no shoes, no socks, no shirt, and they were waiting for. They're all standing in line. Uh, when it came to the ice cream truck, and we just jumped out our car off, out the kindness of our heart, and just bought all of their ice cream. Like, it starts with little stuff like that. Like, you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to have $1 billion in order for you to invest into your community. Like, go straight outside. If not outside, then go to the nearest school. Every school allows you to volunteer and speak your piece. Like, and you gotta mingle. It comes with a lot of humility because young people are gonna call you out on what they see is lacking. Like, a lot of people call me out on my gap, but I embraced it because when I was in third grade, I got my two front teeth kicked out on the swing set. But those are the type of things that young people are going to do. That's the environment. That's how they build rapport with you because you can't just come into nobody's house and expect it to just to be sweet. Like, you got to make yourself known. You got to go through the ringer. We got to test to see how strong you are, how weak you are, what you lack, and what your strengths and weaknesses are. But yeah, for sure. And in the Bible, I just gotta quote this because I'm a heavy believer. But in the Bible, the disciple tried to wash Jesus' feet, and he said, "Who are you to wash my feet?" And he told him to stand up, and he washed his feet. So it's just that humbleness that comes with the territory. Like, you should never be too Hollywood, too up there for you to have to stoop down or even look at it like you're stooping down to be able to give back. There's homeless people on the corners. Go give them something to eat instead of giving them money to spend on illegal drugs and things of that nature.
Yes, you are. Janet says she is old and willing to teach me, Missy. Yes, yes, you are, Deacon Janet. You are. You be teaching me. You do be helping me.
Come
Um,
on.
Look, one of the main things she helped me with is a calendar, honey. I needed a calendar to keep up with these dates, and I have been using it, and it has been a lifesaver. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so yeah, you have to be humble, and you have to go out there and put yourself out on the line to help the youth. Um, Sorry, I kind of got thrown off with my next question with that, but um, oh yeah, in a perfect world, what is a mentor? What do you do as a mentor? What should someone expect from a mentor?
Uh, Honestly, it's kind of like, I don't mean to shoot your question down, but it's like you shouldn't expect anything. You should just accept it for what it is. Like, when the biggest thing about being a mentor is don't leave, don't quit on that young person. If you see real true potential, they're gonna take you through the ringer. They're gonna make you go through some loops, especially if they're really like that. Like, if they're really set and strong on their morals and what they stand on, regardless if it's gangs or doing drugs or whatever the case may be. If you see light in them, focus more on the light than trying to bash them for what they do wrong, and never leave. Like, as long as you're there, as long as you're showing up to certain events that they got going on, like graduations, or if they play basketball, show up to their basketball game, and you just make sure that you're consistent, you're present in their life, then sooner or later you're gonna see the results, you know?
Nice consistency, yeah.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people are. Um, I mean, I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of the times our youth are lost because they don't have any direction. And
Hmm.
if you're not consistent, then you're not building trust. And if you don't have trust, then yeah, they'll continue to go to the other path. If you're
Exactly.
just tuning in, you're tuning into Clean Greens Living Live, broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. I am your host, Queen Bri, and we have with us today Malik Banks from TG Dub, which is, you guys are a mentor service, right? Basically a mentor organization that go out in the community, right?
Yeah, outreach, mentoring, marketing, recruitment.
Okay, talk about this marketing. What are you guys marketing?
We market ourselves first and foremost, but we got some events coming up. I got a performance, a personal performance with me and my fiance. Shout out to the Bridge Music Project here in Tacoma, but they're based out of Olympia. But on March 19th, we got a performance where we did like a 6 to 7 week songwriting, kind of like what is it called? Like a curriculum. We did a 6 to 7 week songwriting curriculum where they taught us how to they critiqued our songwriting skills, and then they allow us to make a song in the studio, one free song, and then and besides that, that's March 19th at the Alma at 7 p.m. If you know where it is, then yeah, you know. You could look it up on GPS too. It's Alma downtown Tacoma. The doors do open at 6, so make sure you be there a little early so you could get a like a front row seat or a seat that's feasible to you. And then we have a youth talent showcase where we just showcase all the young people in the community. And we got sponsors where it's like different businesses that got behind us that had gave us a monetary donation and things of that nature. But that's on June 30th at UW Tacoma. And I want to say it's going to be from 5 to 9 p.m. But we just got emailed the contract. So when I get some free time, I'm going to dive through the contract and, I'm going to update you on the exact time and date and all that. But the for sure date is June 30th. Like, that's locked in for sure.
June 30th and March 19th. March
Yes,
19th is
ma'am.
your performance. June 30th is the youth performance. Do you guys do work outside of Tacoma? Like we at our church we just started hip hop hope nights, which is a fourth
Mhm.
Friday, and the kids come in and it's like open mic. They can rap, they can do a poem, they can sing, they can dance. Do you guys come and participate? Because I would love for some way for us to come together and work with you all, and support your organization, and then also support our youth. They're learning how to write and their skill rap and all that. Is that
Yeah,
something you guys?
yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
yeah, anything we're invited to, like my whole team could vouch for this, but anything we're invited to, we show up as long as we're invited with a specific amount of time. Like it has to be a week or two because we all actively work jobs and we only been running as a certified nonprofit corporation through the Secretary of State for a whole year. So in February, it made it 1 year that we was a certified nonprofit. So, we're
Congratulations.
appreciate it. Like we're new to the game when it comes to nonprofit and collaboration because we used to just do it just off the cuff. But now we're learning different stuff to be able to bridge out. But we're never opposed to anything. Like if there's anybody in the chat or you personally, if you guys invite us to something, we could go to your guys' stuff first to build rapport, or we could just both go to each other's, whichever one shows up first. And you know, it's a slide for a slide.
Nice. So how does it feel being young and like you're very powerful, first of all. How does it feel
I
being
appreciate
young and just navigating this system of nonprofit and showing up for the youth? What is it that you can give people advice or ask for help on?
it. So I'm gonna start with the advice. Advice, I feel like the young people give you more than what you give them. And the reason why I say that is because they keep you young, they keep you up to date with certain stuff. Like they're gonna tell you like, instead of getting those shoes, you should get these shoes because the kids is gonna rock with you a little more. And they help sharpen you up. And I was that young person that grew up with a broken family. And I seen how strong my mom was holding it down for 5 boys and 1 girl. And that's what got me started with let me dive a little deeper into this work. And also another thing too, when I was ripping and running in the streets, I started to see that my little brother, he was a spitting image of me. So when I started seeing that he was copying after my mistakes and really going like like worldwide with it, like posting it on Facebook for the whole world to see and posting it on social media, that's when I had to take a step back and check myself because if anything was to happen to him, then the blood's on my hands and I'll full fledged take responsibility of that. So in that, I decided to just start my own movement, which is how TG Dub started. It started off as a brotherhood, but now we have a woman named Michaela Gagner. We call her Killer because she's a dancer and she kills it. Like, when people be like, "Oh, you're killing it," feel me? So we call her Killer. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, as young people, you get way more than what you give them. And as far as some You said, do I have any questions?
Like, do you need help with anything? Do you need people to volunteer? How can people get involved or donate to your organization?
Well, right now we're taking donations through PayPal and Cash App, and yeah, I could give that to you, or you want me to just say it, or how you want to do it?
You could do both because this is recorded. They can go back and watch it later on, and then you can also give it to me and we could post it.
Okay, so Cash App is money sign get with it 253, and the PayPal, if I'm not mistaken, should be TG Dub televised. And besides that, we're accepting anything. Like there's nothing that we're opposed to as long as it makes sense. Like if you want to come volunteer, then feel free to reach out. We'll find a spot for you. There's enough room at the table because just like the Bible said, when it came to him gathering all the when Noah had to gather all the animals, he said gather two of each animal. So any spot we have filled, we have room for another because there should be two or more in that spot just in case the primary person is not able to execute because of whatever circumstances come up because we live in a crazy world, anything can happen.
Do you guys so
Yeah.
how do you guys recruit youth? Do you guys just go into schools or do you guys have kids that do you have a registration for people who need mentors and you guys sign up? Does young youth become involved in TG Dub?
Well, right now we're working on our website. We're finalizing that. But really, when it comes to young people and us recruiting, we really do the groundwork. Like we go wherever
You're
you
breaking up.
are.
You broke up. Can
Am
you
I
just
good now?
Yeah, you're good now. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I said as far as young people, we really do the grassroots work. So like on our regular day-to-day life, like I play basketball, I rap, I sing. So in people just off the strength of having my ear to the streets. Like when I go places, I tell them like love that
Oh, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Okay, while we wait for Malik's to come back on, um, don't forget to April 22nd, Earth Day. We need you guys to show up and show out at our just save the date because I'm gonna give you that information. It will be at our urban youth farm, which will be behind the Amy Yee courts, Amy Yee tennis court. You guys will be able to come help plant. You guys could be a part of something so fresh, so new. Don't forget our CSAs are now open. And don't forget, I'm going to look up his social media because he had good information. And I don't want his movement to not be heard here on Clean Greens Living Live. You can go follow him at gentleman underscore dro on Instagram. And you guys can follow and learn more about I keep saying it wrong. G Dub. Let me get this right. Sorry. TG Dub. Sorry guys. TG Dub. Please contact them and learn more about their organization. They are out here doing really good community work. Sing now. Y'all want me to sing? Deontay said this is the time to sing. Now I ain't singing. But TG Dub, please check them out. They're doing great works mentoring the youth in this community. And if you're interested, we do have Hip Hop Hope every fourth Fridays, where the youth in our community can come out and they can also showcase their talent, build community. We do have some mentors on site. And just come join the fun and join the love. Our youth are important. They are so important to us. And one of the things that he said that was so true is we have to learn to pass the torch. We have to learn to show up for them. They don't always speak our language. I don't always speak everybody's language, but if we come together and we're learning together and we're growing together, we start to understand each other. So it's just about taking that time. All right, that's it for Clean Greens Living Live today. Broadcasted on Rainier Avenue Radio. It's your girl Bri, and I am out to go enjoy the sun.